Okay, so what we're going to make is our Dia de los Muertos skeleton. Remember, this is not a scary holiday. This is a happy and fun celebration. So we have right now a scientific drawing of a skeleton. We're going to look at the main pieces and what pieces we're going to need. There's a lot of really small pieces in the skeleton, and so we don't want to have, there's about 263 bones in the human body. Do we want to cut out 263 pieces? No, we'll be here doing this for the rest of the year. So we're just going to do a few main pieces. We're going to focus on having the skull be one piece, maybe the spine be one piece, a few different ribs, some arm bones, and some leg bones. So looking at that, I want you to look at the different shapes you can see. The Jolie labels that many. Okay, so on my black paper, my name is already on the black paper. Then I'm going to put that on the bottom and move on to my white paper so that way I can draw some bones. Now, is that black paper big or small? Is it big or small? It's big. So we want to make sure our skeleton is proportional. Does anybody know what proportional means? Yes. Proportional means if you have a really big paper, you don't want to have a little teeny tiny skeleton. You want a skeleton that fits your paper. So the first bone I'm going to show you how to draw is going to be the head bone, the skull. So the skull kind of starts out roundish on the top, and then the cheekbones kind of go in a little bit. Okay, now if I'm drawing, you're drawing. If I'm drawing, you're not talking, just drawing. I'm just putting it in a corner. I could go ahead and add the little nose area and the eyes. Then I'm going to make the neck and the rib cage. Here's the neck. Because remember, we're not drawing it together. We're drawing it and then cutting them out. And then the rib bones. They get used up. And let's see, the hip bone. The hip bone's a little bit different. Let's draw the hip bone right here. So the hip bone has kind of a curve. Okay, so now I'm going to start. I've got my head bone, neck bone, backbone, hip bone. The hip bone's connected to what bone? To the thigh bone. Very good. So let's go ahead and make our thigh bone. How many thigh bones do we need?
Two.
Two. In Spanish, we would say dos. Very good. You want to try to make those as similar as possible. And after the thigh bone, we're going to make more of the knee bone and the tibula fibula area. And what's connected to the leg bone?
I don't remember that song. That was like kindergarten.
The foot bone. So I'm going to make a little ankle here, a heel.
All I remember is
Oh, can you see?
what's it called?
Shh. We're going to make how many feet bones?
2. Ow.
Okay, so I've got a head. Let's look back at our skeleton. I've got a head, neck, rib cage, pelvis, thigh bone, tibula, fibula. Maybe draw a little line there so it looks like it. Some feet bones, which are your tarsals and your metatarsals. And now we are missing, all we're missing is the, let's see, how about a clavicle bone? The clavicle bone is like your shoulder bone.
Why is this too small?
That's fine.
That's fine. Too small.
So this is your clavicle bone right here. See those big round edges? Those are going to be your shoulders. So then out of the shoulders are going to be your arms, your humerus, ha ha ha, and your radius and ulna. So first let's do the humerus. It's kind of big. And the radius. Oh. And then we need to draw a wrist bone. A wrist. How many phalanges? How many phalanges per hand? Five phalanges. Phalanges are your fingers. All right, so we have our skull, neck bone, backbone, ribs, pelvis, femur. Are you looking at your skeleton? Femur, tibula, fibula, your tarsals and metatarsals. Let's draw some lines on this. Your clavicle bone. And these are kind of like the scapula. And then your humerus, radius and ulna, tarsals or metatarsals, and carpals, and phalanges. Okay, I think at this point we should be done drawing our skeleton. After you cut out a piece, listen to me closely. After you cut out a piece, glue it down. If you don't glue it down right after you cut it out, what might happen to it? It'll be lost, long gone, never to be found again.
And then you just have to make a new one.
So if you do lose it, you might have some extra white paper to use. So you may start cutting them out if you're ready to cut them out. And then do what with them when they're cut out?
Glue them.
Very good. Glue it down.
Are these